Everyone crave a good night's sleep. You wake up in the morning, you just feel refreshed, and the night that you don't have a good sleep, you wake up and you might feel terrible, not ready to tackle the day. So sleep is such an important part of our overall health and well-being, and it impacts so many different systems within our body. So immune system is top of everybody's mind in COVID and coming out of COVID, and certainly sleep has a huge impact on your immune response. If you actually look at when your immune system is most active, it's first thing in the morning after you've rested and you wake up. And so you produce compounds, you produce molecules that are involved in your immune response, which are more produced through the evening while you're sleeping, through the night while you're sleeping. So your body has a chance to really fight off infection and disease as a result of sleep. So it's a really crucial part of immune response. Sleep has a huge impact on mood. I think you may even see movie scenes and whatnot of sleep deprivation and used as a torture approach. But sleep is so important for mood. You can improve your mood with good sleep, and you can certainly have an impact on your mood in a negative way with bad sleep. And unfortunately, sleep and mood often cycle together. So a poor night's sleep can create a negative mood, low energy, which may mean you have a less active day, which then can trigger poor sleep again. And so often people end up cycling down in kind of a downward spiral of poor mood or possibly even depression associated with lack of sleep. So it's really well established that sleep is a very important part of mood. Getting a good night's sleep is extremely important. And it really has to do with brain chemistry ultimately. If you think of your brain and your neurons as a real powerhouse using a lot of energy, through the day, you end up building up byproducts, toxins, garbage in a way. And so your brain needs time at night to be able to clear those toxins and byproducts out in order to function properly. And so if you're not getting a good night's sleep, then you have an increased buildup of those byproducts, which are not good in terms of overall brain function, and therefore have a big impact on mood as well. Sleep deprivation for sure is can be a really difficult thing to be dealing with. And someone who has chronic sleep disorders, chronic insomnia, sleep deprivation is a major issue, major impact on their health. So we see it not only in terms of mood, decreasing mood and causing depression, but we see it impact on so many other systems in the body. So it can impact your circulatory system. It can be associated with high blood pressure. It can trigger diabetes. It can trigger weight gain. So again, sleep is such an important part of health. And when you're deprived of sleep, you see many systems get involved and start to break down. So sleep deprivation is really has a big impact on health overall. And so very crucial to deal with sleep. If you're having sleep issues, to try and tackle it. And perhaps we can touch on some of those ways of tackling and getting a better night's sleep. So, there are lots of cliches here perhaps, and some people will think, well, it's just obvious. So if you go through the obvious list of reducing caffeine, getting exercise, making sure you're not in a room that's lit up with all sorts of distracting lights and possibly sounds and noises. But ultimately, I find sleep is really a habit. And so you have to think of a good habit and how to get into a good habit. And so routine becomes very important. And so having a routine through the day to make sure that you are keeping yourself on a certain schedule, which starts to help your body regulate and hormones like melatonin that control what we call circadian rhythm. So if you can practice a better habit or better cycle of wake and sleep with a timeline, that's very important. And then, I like to say that the good habits and the good things for humans often take work and focus, and the bad things can happen in an instant. So, even though we've all heard that reduce our caffeine and make sure we're in a dark room, are things that I think if you take a step back and really assess your situation, you're probably going to realize that there are things that you're not doing as effectively as you should. And so it really becomes a motivation factor. Improving lifestyle often comes back to motivation. Do I really have the motivation and the focus to try and sort this out? And I don't want to diminish the major sleep issues, which people will struggle with and will need medical attention. But for most of us, really, we're kind of our own worst enemies. So if you think about what you're doing towards the end of the day, often you've had a larger meal, you've probably eaten a little too late, you probably didn't exercise enough through the day, so you're not physically tired. You're likely on your phone, so you have the stimulation of light and sound. Your room is probably not as dark as it should be. Your bed might be too old. So thinking about ergonomics and pillow support and mattress support should all be reassessed. Ultimately, I'd like to describe us as creatures who've been around for a couple of 100,000 years. If you think of modern times, really only in very modern times do we suddenly have all this exposure to light and sound and computers and screens and everything. And our bodies just haven't adapted to that. Whereas over a couple of 100,000 years, we're used to the sun going down, it being dark, it being quiet, and hence our hormones and our sleep patterns are adjusted to that. So, if you really think about how we're designed to function and work, it is on a schedule. It's on a schedule that relates to daylight. And so paying attention to that and making sure it's dark and making sure it's quiet and making sure you're not grabbing your phone thinking maybe my phone will help me get to sleep, which is really completely counterproductive. So really taking a step back and assessing it and being honest with yourself about these lifestyle habits as to whether you're really practicing good sleep hygiene, as I like to describe it. Obviously, COVID has been hugely stressful for pretty much everybody. It's had a major impact. And if you look at what stress does, it creates an increase in adrenaline and cortisol. And those hormones are really designed for us to respond to a quick stressor, something that happens in an instant. Our body's designed for flight and fight and a quick response for survival. So if you have this low grade, steady state of just continuous cortisol release because you're stressed all the time, that's what changes hormone patterns and has a big impact on your ability to sleep effectively. And so when you're not sleeping effectively, your cortisol level is staying high, you're not able to reduce it, so you're waking up stressed and tense, and then you go through another day of more stress and tension. So, things that release stress, I like to focus on physical activity, because if you think of our stress response, we're designed for this fight or flight situation. So if you go out and create physical activity where you raise your heart rate and you get more oxygen into your body and you get physically tired, that will change your cortisol levels, your stress levels in your body, and cause them to initially spike through exercise, but then decrease after you've exercised. And so that's a great way to change your body from this chronic steady state of just fighting low-grade stress all the time to one where you introduce a good stress to your body through exercise. It then reduces your stress response and hence your stress level and your cortisol levels, and as a result you end up getting a better night's sleep. So I really like exercise and physical activity as a great way to manage stress. All right, so we can all focus on good habits and good routines, but sometimes our body still disagrees with us, and so doing something else to coax yourself into a better night's sleep can also be a great approach. And so if you look at modern science and modern approaches, you have opportunities from something whether ingest or applied to our skin, which can also help us with sleep. So if you look at aromatherapy as an example, we know lavender helps through aromatherapy effects to calm the mind and relax you. If you look at things like modern plant molecules, CBD has come to the forefront as a modern plant molecule, which does appear to impact sleep patterns taken in a small amount. If you take too much, it tends to create an awakeness or wakefulness. And then melatonin, I actually had a great opportunity to study under the individual who had discovered melatonin and discovered it was produced by the pineal gland in the brain. And so it turns out melatonin is part of our circadian rhythm. So your body actually produces melatonin as light goes down to coax your brain into calming down and heading towards a state of sleep. And so, perhaps with the light around, your brain is not producing melatonin like it should, or we know melatonin from a jet lag situation where taking melatonin, if you fly through time zones, it can help reset that rhythm. And so melatonin is a very useful potential supplement as well. And then you see other things. You can investigate magnesium as an option and chamomile as an option. And so, thinking about what you're ingesting, what you're eating, whether it be supplement or food, things you're applying to your skin. You can apply lavender, you can apply CBD to your skin. Lots of additional natural ways to coax your body into a better night's sleep.